All right, concussion kiddos. We're on lesson 3 today. This is very much like lesson 2, where we're going to look at quarter notes and quarter notes and eighth notes, but also we're going to add some quarter rests. Now let's review. What is a rest? A rest means you do not play, right? So let's review quarter notes and eighth notes, right? We had our quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're nice and slow notes, right? Now, if we add our eighth notes, they're in between our quarter notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So our eighth notes are going to be they're going to be twice as fast. All right, so let's look at number 1 for a second. In number 1, we have eighth quarter. So we have 1 and 2 and 3. Right, so after 3, we have to wait a whole bunch of time till our next measure. So we're going to click and count this, and we're going to click and count the downbeat of the next measure too, so we know where that is. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Click and count. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Again, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Let's try it with a metronome. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I did that wrong, and I'm going to slow our metronome down. Bad, Mr. Sherwin. 1 and 2, and here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so it's a long space. Let's try playing all of number 1. We're going to play all 4 measures. Here we go. 1 and 2, and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so what we're doing is we're what's called subdividing, or we're dividing eighth notes in our heads. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and until our head explodes. But that's going to help us to know where all of our eighth notes are. Whew. Okay, let's look at the next one. We have one pair of eighth notes here. What beat are the pair of eighth notes on? Are they on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, or beat 4? Take a second, look at it. They're on beat 1. They're at the very beginning of the measure. So if we click and count this with our metronome, here we go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And then we would do that again. Okay, if I put the ands in, let's try it one more time. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? So let's see if we can play number 2. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. There we go. Okay. Number 3, if you look, quarter note, eighth, quarter. Oh my goodness. Quarter note, eighth, quarter. We've already done this. This is totally from lesson 2. Let's see if we can remember. What beats are our eighth notes on? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Take a second. Yeah, they're on beats 2 and 3. So if we click and count this with the metronome, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? So that's how we click and count it. If you're having trouble with the clicking, just rewind me, do it a couple times, or pause me, do it a couple times, and see if you can get yours to line up with mine. Okay? Let's see if we can play all of number 3, all 4 measures. Here we go. 1 and 2, and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And there we go. We're rocking and rolling now. Okay, let's look at number 5. Sorry, number 4. Numbers are hard. 4. We have beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. Which beat has a rest on it? Take a minute, look at it. Yeah, beat 4 has the rest on it, right? Right there. Which beat has the 8th notes on it? Beat 1, 2, or 3? Look at it. Correct answer is beat 2, right? Right here. So if we click and count this is kind of like number 2. Here's number 4. Ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Again, and go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and one more time. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... Okay, so there's a big space during this rest, so we need to make sure that we keep that whole thing empty. It's a long time before we play our next beat. Let's try number 4, playing. Ready? 1, and 2, and here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 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 and there we go. Okay. Whew. Now, I like to see patterns when I look at music, and if there's something that I've already done, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I've already done it, right? So let's look at number 3 again. We have quarter note, eighth, 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 quarter. Let's look at number 5, which is where we're going. We have quarter, rest, eighth, 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 quarter. So the only difference between 3 and 5 is this first note. So all we're going to do is rest on it. Okay, let's try clicking and counting it. Don't play on beat 1. Don't do it. Don't click. Ready? 1, and 2, and here we go, and rest. 2, and 3, and 4, and that's tricky. Let's try it again. Here we go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now if you're saying the ands, that and is going to happen before beat 2 happens as well. It's going to be 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, okay? Click and count with me one more time. Here we go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... Okay, let's try all of number 5, all 4 measures. Don't play on beat 1. Don't do it. Don't do it. Ready? 1, and 2, and playing number 5. Rest. 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and good. Now, let's check out number 6. We have a rest on beat 1 again. We have a rest on beat 3 as well, so our 8th notes are on 2 and 4. So every time we start our 8th notes, we want to go right, left. Okay? So if we click and count number 6, this should be actually kind of easy. 1, and 2, and clicking and counting, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and that's our pattern, right? So we're clicking on 2 and 4 and, or playing rather on 2 and 4 and. Let's try it with the metronome. 1, and 2, and here we go, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and there we go. All right. Number 7, very similar. We've got a rest again. We have 8th notes on 2 and then 3 and 4 are both quarter notes. So if we click and count number 7, 1, and 2, and here we go, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and, okay? Let's try it one more time. Here we go, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and, okay? Let's play all of number 7. Watch out for those beat 1s. Don't play on them. Ready? 1, and 2, and here we go, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 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 and... Okay, very nice. Nice. Now, again, I like patterns. So let's look. What's the only difference between number 7 and number 8? What do you see? Rests, eighth notes, quarter notes. It's beat 4. We have a rest here now. So that's not that bad. The tricky part is going to be having 2 rests next to each other when we play the whole thing. So I want us to click and count the first 2 measures right up to here. And we're going to have to count 2 rests in a row right here, 4 and 1. All right, and you're going to feel how long that rest is. So let's click and count. Number 8, the first 2 measures. 1 and 2, and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so on and so forth. It's a big rest, okay? So we've got to think 4 and 1 and then we come in on beat 2. All right, let's play it. Number 8. 1 and 2 and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 4 and. Okay? So if you need to pause and do any of those again or practice a couple and then try playing with me again, go for it. Again, if you have questions or comments, just email me. We'll see if we can set up a Zoom. Or if you want to just write, hey, Mr. Sherwin, you messed this up, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. You can totally email me. I would love to say hey to you guys. Okay, I'm going to scooch up. It's time for our combination study at the bottom of the page here. Here we go. Okay. Now, the tricky part is going to be watching out for these rests. Okay, they happen in a couple of different places, so we need to make sure, and especially when there's 2 in a row, we need to make sure we leave a big space. All right? You may want to pause me and practice each measure once or twice, try to put some of the measures together. So if I were to practice this, I would take my first measure, right? Rest. 2 and 3, 4. Excellent. Now I would take my second measure here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right. Now I would put these 2 together. Rest. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then maybe play the third measure. Play all 3 of them. Play the fourth measure. Play all 4. Then do the same thing on the bottom line. Play the first measure. Play the second measure. Put them together. Play the third measure. Put them together. Play the fourth measure. Put them together. And then see if you can play the whole piece. That might be the best way to practice for you. You might have to play just one measure 1,000 times. Just another measure 1,000 times. Then put those 2 together 1,000 times. It's going to be different for each one of you. So pick the method that works best for you. Okay? I'm going to play the whole thing right now. If you want to pause me and practice, or if you want to listen to me, work on it, and then try to play with me again, go for it, okay? Here's the combination study of lesson 3. The tempo equals 60 on this whole page, okay? If you have a metronome. 1 and 2, and here we go, and rest. 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, that's the combination study. And you'll see these 2 measures are exactly the same. We've got a half note at the end here. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and, which is a rest. Right? A half note's another way of writing a quarter note and a quarter rest. This right here can look exactly like this. Same thing. All right? Again, if you have questions or comments, please send me a note. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're all doing well. I miss you dearly. And I hope you have a fabulous week. I'll see you soon. Bye.